When we're children, we're always doing things for the first time. Life is a constant adventure of discovering new parts of yourself and pushing the boundaries as you grow up. And the same thing happens when you get older. There is a process of growing up as you get older, that, being an aging person for the first time. And no one has the rule book. It's different for everybody, and it's a really challenging opportunity, an opportunity to grow into a new person as you get older, and to experience that as an exercise that you can refine, you can practice it, you can go into training. So, today I want to talk to you about how to go into training as an older person. And there are three things that you can do, three specific practical things that you can do in order to get in shape for being an older adult. My name is Margaret Manning. I'm with 60andMe, and I'm really excited to share this conversation with you today because I think it's about something that you can do practically to prepare yourself for getting older and living a long and happy and healthy and strong life. Now, our show today is brought to you by Easy Spirit. Easy Spirit is a shoe company that's been making fabulous shoes for women over 35 years. They've got fashionable and stylish shoes, and they have got a whole new range of wonderful boots, athletic shoes, and just comfortable dress shoes that I think you will love. You don't have to sacrifice comfort for style. You get both. And they believe that comfort is the most important thing and try to make it uncomplicated. So check out easyspirit.com. And if you look at the description in the article here, you'll see a promotional code for a 20% discount on your purchase. So let's talk about old people in training. I love this article. It's by Brittany Dennis. And Brittany, the article is on our website, and you can actually watch her video there. She does a really lovely video on this topic of aging, of getting older, and how the conversation about preparing for being an older person really is sort of, first of all, influenced by society and the whole view of ageism in society, things that people expect are going to happen to you as you get older, and then also how we take that and internalize it, how we actually start to say it ourselves. I am too old to do something, or I think I'm a little too old to do that. You hear yourself saying those things, and there's some certain misconceptions and stereotypes that Brittany highlights that are just so profound. And the three things that she talks about doing every day to actually exercise, and they're not what you think. They're not like weightlifting and stuff. They're very three different interesting things are going to work to help you be an older adult in training. Now, she starts off the article with a quote by Ashton Applewhite, who I want to mention this quote. And Ashton is a friend of 60andMe. She interviewed with me about, maybe over a year or so ago. She has a book called This Chair Rocks, and it's about aging and about ageism in society. Very interesting conversations with her. But she says, becoming an old person in training makes it easier to think critically about what age means in our society and the forces at work behind the depiction of older people as useless and pathetic. That's Ashton's quote, and Brittany puts that at the beginning of her article. And she's right. I mean, there's the stereotype that we have to deal with as older people is that we decline as we get older, we get weaker, we're less active, less interested in the world, less sensual, less interested in makeup and beauty. It's just a ridiculous set of stereotypes, but we buy into it. And this is what Ashton says, and also Brittany. So she says, why don't we turn it around? Why don't we look at aging as a time of growth? A time that we're growing older in a beautiful way, and that we've got opportunities to do certain things that can help us to be strong and stay in good health. And there are things that change, of course. I mean, we know that there's a thing of as you get older, you do gain you lose estrogen, for example. Your body gets a little weaker sometimes, but there's nothing that's inherently about aging that makes you decline. So Brittany talks about three things you can do. First thing, get on the floor. Okay, get on the floor as much as you can every day. Practice getting up off the floor. Now that seems like such an obvious, I've fallen and I can't get up kind of joke, but it's true. If you can get down on the floor and be able to get up without using your hands, just kind of push up from your legs using your hips and your legs, That is one of the best exercises in the world. It's not even an exercise, it's just what you can do. Now, I'm very fortunate in that I have a 2.5-year-old grandson. And so if I'm going to get, down on the floor with him to play with his train set or to get to play games, I'm getting lots of practice. And I thank my little Max for that, because it gives me an excuse to get down on the floor and practice how to get up again. It's really, really important. Brittany says that she actually, whenever there's an opportunity, like in a room of people, everyone's sitting on the sofas and talking, she'll get down on the floor. She'll sit on the floor, cross her legs, just sit on the floor. And people always say, "Oh, what are you doing down there?" She says, "Oh, I'm comfortable on the floor. I like practicing getting up." And that's her thing. She enjoys getting up off the floor. It can be a really important daily exercise. So I encourage you to think about that. The second thing is to make a practice of balance. Practice your balance. Did you? I don't know the statistics, but there's a big number of people that falling down as you are over the age of 60 are related to a balance problem. And I actually know this from my own experience. I have fallen a couple of times. In fact, 7 or 8 years ago, I had a pretty serious fall in Paris. I fell on cobblestones, but it was because I was wearing shoes that weren't the right fit, and I also wasn't paying attention to my balance, because I was on cobblestones. So, there's balance is like a really, really important thing to practice. So make a note of the surfaces that you walk on and practice walking on them. If you're waiting for the bus, just stand on one foot. Or do that any time in the day. Like if you're sitting at your desk on the computer or on the sofa, just stand up and for 5 minutes, just do some balancing exercises. And that's like hold your arms up and just put your arms out to the side and arms out to the side. You can't see my arms. And just stand on one foot and then the other. It's really, really good practice. Push past your boundaries every single day with the relates to balance. It is so important. Yoga is another thing that's really important for balance. And I want to mention to you really quickly that we have got some DVDs that are super good. They're free of charge to watch on YouTube. And if you want to buy the DVDs, you can, of course, if you want to have them at home. But we've got 3 DVDs. We recorded them in Bali. Teacher is amazing, Kat Kabira. We did gentle yoga, chair yoga, which is if you've got any mobility issues, this is no problem. Just do the chair yoga, and it's very good exercise. And then flows, yoga flows, gentle flows. All of these have exercises related to balance. And in fact, yoga is a great, in my opinion, a great way to practice your balance. So those are our 3 60andMe DVDs that you might be interested in. But as I said, you can watch them for free on YouTube. It's really, really cool. So balance is important. Getting up off the floor is important. And what's the third thing? Okay, third thing is, drum roll, I have to remember. Yeah, it's really important. Just crawl. Learn how to crawl. Get on the floor and crawl around. Now, this is really funny because for years I have been, especially in my kitchen area, because I was living in a small space, I would get on my knees and wash the floor with a little scrubber, and on my knees I would crawl around the floor in the kitchen. And in fact, at that place, I was actually doing it in more areas because it was a small studio space. But I never realized how important crawling was. Crawling, because it does a couple of things. It actually helps your shoulders to get strong. And if you can actually start, for example, by like even if you're out with your grandson or just in the park and in those monkey bars on the playgrounds, just try to pull yourself up on the monkey bars. It's just a matter of doing that exercise that gets your whole body, using the muscles in your arms, and that's crawling. So crawling is super, super good. Actually, I said 3, but I think there's 4. And this is another one that Brittany talks about, which is very, very cool. And I didn't realize how little I was doing this until she mentioned it. And that is lifting your hands above your head, just way up high. And you can do just, stretching up and down. You can, when you're putting things in the cupboard, in the kitchen, just slowly lift them in. Practice that movement of getting your shoulders going up and down. And that is such a good exercise, she says. And I actually, when I'm out playing with Max or just walking, I'll just, do a stretch and just lift up. If you've got a couple of little weights, that's always good too. But you can practice daily and incorporate, that widening the range. And it's just the stretching, not so much the weight. It's the stretching of your shoulders. So that's a really, really good one. And then I'll give a bonus one for you, which Brittany mentions. A thing you can do every day is socialize. Be with people that you love. Be with like-minded people. Laugh. Enjoy your life. Make sure that you're doing things that bring you joy. And that socialization, that getting together with people is very, very important because isolation, creates that kind of a kind of despair and negativity sometimes, where you don't crawl, you don't get down on the floor, you don't lift your legs, you just become very immobile. So that can be fueled by just doing exercise and walking, talking with your friends, being engaged. So, which of these three or four do you think you could benefit from doing? Would it be from crawling? Would it be from getting up off the floor? Would it be lifting your arms or just having a good laugh with friends? Let us know what you think. I'd love to read your comments. Which of these have you actually not done in a long time? When was the last time you got down on the floor of your own volition and got up again without using your hands? It's a great challenge. But thank you, Brittany, for this article. I thought it was wonderful. Check it out on the website. And also, we have a lot of articles and videos on this subject of staying strong and healthy in your 60s. So take a look on YouTube. Also on the 60andMe website, we've got a lot to share with you. So have a wonderful day, everybody. Take good care of yourselves and go sit on the floor for a minute and get up. Let me know what you feel like. Take good care for now. We'll talk again soon. Bye.